The United Nations is raising a new alert over the humanitarian crisis in Gaza. It says life-saving aid is still being blocked by Israeli restrictions.
I keep reminding colleagues, an humanitarian response is not just food distribution. If you want to address even the hunger and the despair in Gaza, it's not just through food distribution.
Philippe Lazzarini says that along with delivering food relief, the UN also needs to sustain basic services in Gaza. Meanwhile, the U.S. is pressing the UN Security Council to authorize a temporary stabilization force in Gaza that would protect civilians and secure aid routes. The proposal is meeting strong resistance from Russia, China, and several Arab states. The CBC's Tom Perry is following this story for us from Jerusalem, and he joins us now live. So, Tom, what is the latest on aid reaching Palestinians in Gaza?
Well, we saw this week a third passage into Gaza reopened. This is in the northern part of the territory. Up until now, it's only been two passageways in southern Gaza where aid has been getting through. So this third passageway is supposed to be getting more aid into northern Gaza. We actually saw images of trucks picking up aid and bringing it into the territory yesterday. I was on a UN website today that tracks aid going in. According to that website, there are about 4,200, just over 4,200 trucks that have crossed into the territory since the ceasefire. By my math, that doesn't add up to the 600 per day that we're supposed to be getting into the territory under the terms of the ceasefire, but some aid is getting through. Some commercial goods are also getting through. We've seen images out of Gaza of some marketplaces reopening so that people with money can get the food they need or some of the food they need. The fact is, though, that a lot of people in Gaza don't have money, and they're going to rely on the aid that is getting into the territory, and they're still living in really terrible conditions. We've seen some images today coming out of the territory of families who've been living in tents. It's been raining here in Israel, and so families have been living in tents, and they've just been flooded out of their homes, the tents that they're living in, by these heavy rains. So it's a mixed picture we're getting in Gaza right now. Aid groups say some progress is being made. Some aid is getting in. Some work is being done to rebuild the territory. But these are still very initial steps. The bottom line is that what we're hearing is that far more assistance is needed to get into the territory to help the people who need help so badly.
And Tom, talk to us about the latest proposal that the U.S. has put before the UN Security Council. Tell us what it says.
What the U.S. wants the Security Council to do is essentially give its backing to Donald Trump's 20-point peace plan. We saw that agreed to in Sharm el-Sheikh, Egypt last month. Donald Trump was there with the leaders of Qatar, Turkey, and Egypt. We saw about 20 countries represented there, including Canada. Prime Minister Mark Carney was there. So what this peace deal does, we've seen it in action now. It's in phase one. The fighting, for the most part, the violence is mostly stopped in Gaza. We're seeing aid get in, and we've seen the release of Palestinian prisoners and also Israeli hostages. One of the last deceased hostages, the remains of one of the last deceased hostages was returned last night. So in phase two, Gaza is supposed to be demilitarized. There's supposed to be this transitional board of peace headed by Donald Trump, and there's supposed to be an international stabilization force made up of countries to bring in, to work with Palestinian police and to bring security to Gaza. So that's all in this resolution. What the U.S. is hoping to do by getting UN backing is to give it more legitimacy, because no one has really come forward to say that they will put troops into Gaza. The hope is that with the UN's backing, more countries will step forward. And so right now, the U.S. is just trying to get that through the UN Security Council.
Okay, Tom, thank you. We do appreciate all the reporting. Tom Perry for us there in Jerusalem.